Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. According to one very popular chart analyst who I follow, what's most probable in crypto markets is that a lot of people are about to get left behind. Because there are a ton of people that are anticipating a move for Bitcoin to the downside, perhaps to $20,000 or lower before a corrective move to the upside. And, there are a number of analysts I follow that have stated that, if something like that happens, then don't assume that there's going to be some sort of V bottom, some sort of bounce out of there, and then we go to the positive. No, no, no. If something happens and we go down to $20,000, something is catastrophically wrong, and you can expect things to crater much, much, much further. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And it doesn't seem like that's what's most probable to this point. But as most of you are aware, Bitcoin yesterday hit over $28,000, and it's a little bit below that right now. But I want to share with you some perspective from this particular chart analyst. And I also want to talk about something that is going to be big for crypto in general, especially if you consider over a prolonged period of time. And I'm talking about approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, because there's an article. This is from The Street. It's titled, "Why the SEC is Likely to Approve a Bitcoin-Focused BlackRock ETF." And one of the things that they cover in this article is a speculation that what's going to happen is Gary Gensler, because he sees the writing on the wall, what he's going to do is approve a BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF, and he's either going to get removed from office or he's going to resign because all this happening before the upcoming election in the United States a little over a year from now. And then what he's going to do is he's going to take a nice cushy job over at BlackRock after approving them for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So I want to share with you some of what was said. And that's not all. There's also a Grayscale now pushing for an Ethereum spot ETF. Look at this headline from the Crypto Basic. Grayscale seeks SEC permission to convert largest Ethereum investment product to spot ETF. And so look, once Bitcoin gets approved, it's like, to some degree, I don't know if you want to say the floodgates are opening, but it's going to make it a lot easier for certain cryptocurrencies, I surmise, to get approved. It's just getting over that hurdle of the first one for the first cryptocurrency. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam, XRP is 51 cents, Bitcoin is at $27,555, which, by the way, you'll see in a moment, is a level to watch according to the analyst whose material I'm going to be covering here. You got the crypto market cap at just shy of $1.1 trillion, and the crypto fear and greed index at 50 out of 100. So ain't no damn fear up on that batch. People feeling pretty neutral though. But mark my words, at some unknown point in the future, you're going to see this thing flashing green, meaning greed. And then ultimately extreme greed. This thing's going to go all the way up there. And I know it always seems impossible. People are scared when it's not there, especially when price action is negative. Price go down. I got it. But it's silly to emotionally respond because I'm telling you, it's big picture. It's going one direction, all right? Despite pullbacks. Here was a post last night from the blockchain backer. He simply wrote, "Week closed with Bitcoin at $28,000. And I just want to say, you love to see it. Now here's the headline from the Daily Huddle. "Don't expect Bitcoin correction to $20,000, says crypto analyst. Here's why." And so what they're covering in this article is mostly perspective from yesterday, but then I'm going to share with you the very latest from this analyst today. It's none other than Credible Crypto. I'm a big fan of Credible Crypto here, who happens to be very pro XRP. I know at one point XRP was his largest holding. I haven't seen him update that in a long time, so maybe it still is, or it's changed because prices change, and then what is your largest holding can change. But he's very pro XRP. He thinks it's going to go ballistic too at some point. But article reads as follows. "One crypto analyst is issuing a warning that Bitcoin is likely about to leave the station without giving traders any more good entries." And I just want to pause and say one more thing. Bitcoin leads the market. XRP moves in tandem. So even if you don't care about Bitcoin, you should. Even if you don't hold it, even if you're not excited about it. I'm not excited about it. I hold it. I'm excited about XRP and altcoins. I think that's where most of the life-changing wealth is going to come from for me. But I'm excited to follow what's happening with Bitcoin because that determines ultimately what happens with my XRP and all my other cryptos. I want Bitcoin to do exceedingly well. I want it to lead the market. Hell yeah, I do. That's how we get to Moon and Lambo, right? Anyway, piece continues. Pseudonymous analyst Credible Crypto tells his 346,000 followers on social media platform X that Bitcoin's recent price action may appear similar to 2019, making some traders expect a large correction after Bitcoin's strength. However, the analyst says that Bitcoin's current market structure is different than its 2019 price action, and in that its rallies came much slower after building a proper base rather than 2019's sudden parabolic advance. And by the way, I'll also note that although Credible Crypto's perspective is not exactly the same as the blockchain backers, the blockchain backer has also stated that this, what's happening with Bitcoin right now structure-wise does not look like what happened back in 2019. Looks closer to what happened in 2015. And so anyway, here's the quote, though, from Credible Crypto. The move from $3,000 to $14,000, bottom, was a parabolic advance, and these are often followed by major crashes/corrections once the parabola breaks. A common percent decline that is expected is 80+%. Hence, the very deep retracement. Our current move is not parabolic at all, which is just another reason I believe that those looking for a move to $20,000 or below will be left behind. So, folks, and you know what? This goes back to me. It just harkens back to the concept as to why I do what I do with crypto. I buy, and then I don't do anything. And maybe some of the cryptos I bought, I never will sell if they never go ballistic, and maybe they actually do. Maybe some of the cryptos I hold will go to zero, and I just lose out, which I'd be fine with. I just need, even just one or two or three. That might be enough for life-changing wealth. And I put it where I put it, my money for a reason here. So I'm just saying, I'm not going to be left behind because I have exposure at all times. I'm not doing this stupid thing that a lot of people do, getting in and out of positions based on what's happening. I don't think I'm smarter than everybody else out there that has all these opinions about what's going to happen. And I think one of the mistakes people make is thinking that they are, because most people are not, and they don't know what's going to happen, and they're taking all these great risks. But I'm telling you, the biggest, most consequential moves that result in life-changing wealth, they happen very quickly. And so either you have exposure when that happens, or you don't. And so that's why when it comes to Bitcoin and my ETH and my XRP, my HBAR, my Flare, everything, going down the list, I just have the exposure, and either it will result in life-changing wealth, in which case I sell if I'm enticed, or it goes to zero. But I'm not going to risk missing that chance. And so there are a lot of people that do this game, and they get in and they get out, and some people are traders. And I wish them the best, but almost all traders on the planet lose money. And so these people will be left behind. But you know who's not going to be left behind? It's Moon Lambo. It's your boy Moon Lambo. No, I will not be left behind. Not possible. I am stubborn as hell. I will hold to the end. I will ride every single one of these bitches to zero if that's what's necessary. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But I'm just trying to make a point. And then Credible Crypto says the parabolic part of this current move up is yet to come. Bitcoin. End quote. Credible says if Bitcoin is indeed in the beginnings of a big move to the upside, then Bitcoin should not drop below $26,370, where the low time frame impulse began. And so I'll pause to note, the price right now is $27,518. And we're going to come back to that probably again, because if memory serves, there's another instance that's going to prompt me to pull back to this. Because I'm going to share with you also a perspective that he shared just this afternoon. But let me get a little bit further here because I need to do this in order. Here's another quote from Credible Crypto. So far, so good with our local impulse holding up. Here's some more context. We are currently trading above our mid-range, a level that has had some very clear and significant interactions with price over the last month. We know that if this low time frame impulse is the start of a much larger impulse, then the price should not go below its origin, marked off in the chart below. So, while we hold above the mid-range, our next target is the range highs, with a first sign of weakness on a loss of the mid-range and clear invalidation right below that at the origin of this low time frame impulse. And for a moment, I'll pull this chart up. It's full screen right now. If you want to pause to take a look at it, go ahead. I'm going to keep moving on forward here just for the sake of time, but this is it. It's just a Bitcoin USD chart, and that's what he was referencing right there with his comments to the right. And then there's this, and this is from just this afternoon, and I'll make this chart full screen also. This is also a Bitcoin USD chart, and he wrote, Because somebody asked, why the green dotted line? Why there? And so you can see it right here, 27,540. So that's the dollar mark for Bitcoin, 27,540, which is why I said I'd go back to this. So again, the price here, 27,000, now 509 at this exact second. So technically a hair below that. Though I'm not so sure that that matters, because when he sets these specific levels to watch for, if you see something wick below, it doesn't necessarily matter. It's more like where's it closing at on the time frame that's being specified. So just the fact that it for a moment goes below that, I don't think that he'd argue that that particularly necessarily matters. But anyway, here's what Credible Crypto said. Because again, the question, why the green dotted line? Why there? And the green dotted line, $27,540. And so then he says, an excellent question. The green dotted line at $27,550 is a significant prior resistance level that should now act as support on a retest if this move has momentum behind it. I've zoomed out in the chart below to show more context of where that level comes from. And so we'll see what happens here, but this is an exciting time with Bitcoin moving to the upside, and there were all sorts of fly-by-night analysts that said, no, we're going to 20,000. These are the same types that were saying in January, no, we're going down to 12,000 for Bitcoin, down to 10,000. That didn't happen either. So while nothing is guaranteed, we're speaking in terms of probabilities when it comes to chart analysis here. So what he's saying here is what's most probable is you're going to be moving to the upside, and he still believes what's most probable also is that Bitcoin does hit a new all-time high this year, which is a minority opinion. I hope he's right. I don't know if he's right. Would love for him to be right. We shall see. But either way, good things are coming, which is why, again, I just keep exposure to the asset class no matter what. Rain or shine, I'm here with a smile on my face because I don't care. Big picture, it's not going to matter to me what happened in the short term. Of course not. And you guys remember this headline from several days ago? SEC delays spot Bitcoin ETF decision for BlackRock, Invesco, and Bitwise. Yeah, delay all you want, but this is going to get approved ultimately, which brings me to what I was citing earlier from the Street Crypto. Why the SEC is likely to approve a Bitcoin-focused BlackRock ETF. Which, by the way, is what I've been saying. My for-fun guess is that BlackRock is the first to get approved, and my second guess, if that isn't the case, is that there will be a bunch approved all at once. And I don't know what those would be, but maybe BlackRock would be included in the mix. So anyway, piece reads as follows. As approvals from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission have allowed a large number of Ethereum futures exchange-traded funds to hit the market, growing speculation suggests the commission will soon do likewise for a spot Bitcoin ETF from mega financial institution BlackRock. And I'll also note here, I think that when this happens, when the news hits, since we don't know, I mean, maybe you could argue maybe to some degree it's baked in. I'm not completely convinced of that because look, we don't know when that's going to hit. I think when it happens, you're going to see markets go ballistic and maybe see a retrace back onto the downside. But I think as exciting and fun as that will be, I'll still enjoy that. The implications over 5 years and 10 years and 15 years, having that opened up for investors over a span of 5, 10, 15 years and so on, that's what matters the most. That's what's most exciting because the amount of money that ultimately flows in will be exorbitant, and it has to be backed by actual Bitcoin, which impacts the supply and demand dynamics. And so you know what happens. So then you're just that much more likely to have big runs, and then you know what that means for the altcoins also. Money cycles through. And I understand that if it's in legacy finance, it is what it is. You might think that it won't cycle into altcoins, but it's going to bring attention, more money flows in. It's a net plus either way, however you look at it, so far as I see. Anyway, so they wrote here, following a tense appearance before Congress last week, SEC Chair Gary Gensler may be considering regulatory actions that will best inform his future outside of government, and that could mean approving BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF application soon. I'm hearing through the grapevine that Gary Gensler is preparing for his next move because he knows he won't be around for a long time. The Street Crypto's George Tung reported in the video above. What is his next move? To approve Bitcoin spot ETFs from Big Daddy, which is BlackRock, and then he's going to get a nice cushy job at BlackRock afterwards. And so there you go. That's the word that's come on down through the grapevine. Gary Gensler, he's not stupid. He's just an awful human. He's not stupid, though. So he understands he's not going to be there at the SEC, run the SEC much longer. And so he's looking at what's best for him. And this would be a possibility moving forward. Approve this. Because it's the revolving door. Like, this stuff happens all the time, and it's shady and it's crap. But it is what it is, and I'm not going to dwell on that too much. I'll just acknowledge for anybody that thinks that that's the case, yeah, I think so too. I mean, I know so. Like, it is a revolving door. Like, I'm not pretending like it doesn't, like it isn't the case. I'm just saying for me, I'm like, well, as long as the market's bigger, I guess, I mean, I can't control it anyway. So I guess for me, it'll still be a net plus, even though I think it's shady and I'd rather it not be the case. But it is what it is. And then, again, as I said at the outset, opening the floodgates here, look at this from the Crypto Basic. Grayscale seeks SEC permission to convert largest Ethereum investment product to spot ETF. And folks, it's just a matter of time. And I can imagine this happening for XRP at some point in the future, too. There will, at some unknown point in the future, be a spot XRP ETF. It's going to happen. And I don't know if that means way in the future or sooner. But, hey, once you get over this first hump of Bitcoin getting approved, it's going to be easier to get other coins approved. Piece reads as follows. Leading crypto asset manager Grayscale Investments is seeking to convert its Ethereum Trust, ETHE, to a spot Ethereum exchange-traded fund, or ETF for short. According to an announcement today, Grayscale partnered with the New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, to file the conversion with the SEC. We are proud to partner with NYSE ARCA on this filing and look forward to engaging with the SEC on the next steps, said David Laval, Grayscale's head of ETS. And folks, this has been the plan since inception, just about. Either literally at inception or shortly after, but probably from the beginning. Because they understood, you're not right out the gate, you can imagine a better part of a decade ago. You're not harder to get, and yes, entities were trying to get spot Bitcoin ETFs approved back then too. But they understood, hey, this is an investment product where at least, if you're an accredited investor, you can jump on in and you can get exposure to the asset class. But the plan has always been to convert that product to an ETF, because then everyday people who are not accredited investors buying on, for instance, the New York Stock Exchange, you can just buy the ETF, which gives you real exposure to the asset class, because Bitcoin must be purchased. It underlies it. It just does. So that was always the plan. Always a plan with everything else. And by the way, they used to have an XRP trust, and for some reason that hasn't come back yet. Maybe, arguably, because they're so focused on other things and the SEC litigation that they've been dealing with. But I still think at some point that comes back too. There will be an XRP spot Bitcoin spot ETF, not spot Bitcoin ETF. There will be an XRP spot ETF, hopefully sooner than later. But again, the way I look at it is there's so little money in XRP. Like, I want it to happen for Bitcoin. I really do, and I think that'll be great for through the entire space. I think it'll be great for my XRP and everyone's XRP. That's how I'm looking at this. So I just want XRP to have its slice of the pie. I'm not a maximalist of any coin. XRP, yeah, it's my favorite cryptocurrency. I'm biased, I admit that, for a ton of reasons. But I just want it to have its piece of the pie. That's why I look at it. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.